Sachin Shah is joining us right now, fund manager with Emkay. Sachin, thanks very much. Good to have you here. What are you doing, Sachin? What kind of stocks are you focusing on? Lots of results coming in every day. And generally, numbers are, okay, quite okay. In some cases, especially in the consumer sector, even upbeat.
Right. So, you are right. So, we are in the midst of the earnings season and we've been following that quite closely. And what we have seen is so far that most of the numbers are largely in line. There have been no major positive or negative surprises on either ways. So, that's been a good thing. One of the important things that we have actually, what we have seen is that some of the NBFC sector results have been quite decent. So among the stocks that we have invested, LIC Housing Finance actually declared very good results, and the outlook also is quite optimistic as far as the management commentary is concerned. So even if you look at, say, results like Axis Bank and ICICI Bank, it looks like the worst is behind them, and maybe in another 6 months where there will be some bit of consolidation. But second half of FY17 or early FY18, I think this companies or this bank should actually deliver very, very strong results. And the good thing is that the valuations are right now in favor of the investors. So we are quite optimistic on some of the stocks.
Do you own TVS?
Sorry?
TVS Motor. Do you own TVS?
No, we do not own TVS Motors in the auto. Our picks in the auto sector has been Mahindra & Mahindra and Hero Motors and Tata Motors actually. We do not own TVS Motors.
Okay. Fair enough. By the way, a lot of new listings have done very well. Right? I mean, suddenly the IPO market has not only opened up, but the quality of IPOs coming, they're all mostly focused in the consumer side, that too in niche healthcare players, doing very well. Do you have an interest in any of the names which have recently come to the market? Any thoughts?
So I was looking at the numbers of Ujjivan Microfinance, and clearly the numbers look quite attractive over there, and even at the valuations that they are offering at, because if you see, the book size is very similar to your Equitas or even probably SKS Microfinance, and in terms of their spreads or ROA, it's quite comparable to SKS Microfinance. Whereas if you see, the valuations are very reasonable, because SKS Microfinance is probably, and where we already, let me also make a disclosure that we owned SKS Microfinance. So, and today are the results. So if one would expect that they will probably declare a profit in the range of about 300 crores for the full year FY16 for SKS, which means the stock is trading at about maybe 25 times March 16 earnings. Whereas Ujjivan is probably offering the stock at about 15 times March 16 at their IPO price, which is very attractively priced, I would like to say. So that's and if you compare it on most of the parameters to some of these large microfinance companies, be it Equitas or SKS, I think it's quite comparable. So Ujjivan definitely is on our radar. Let's see at what premium it lists, and then maybe we can take a call.
So, I mean, you are largely focused on not largely, but fairly bullish on housing finance, microfinance, other private NBFCs. Am I right in categorizing your view in that way?
Well, no, you're right. So we would have exposure to across various sectors, but as you know, among the results that have come, largely it's been banking and the IT, and very few consumer space. Within the consumer space, we own Bajaj Corp. But again, in the finance space, just 2 days back, let me tell you, there was results of L&T Finance, and this company has not been performing so well for last few years now, I would like to say. But yesterday I did attend their analyst meet, and it looks like that the management has got its act in play now, and they are trying to turn around. So L&T Finance is something also we are looking to invest in that business, and I think my sense is that they should do quite well in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah. Fair enough. By the way, do you own Adani Port or enterprises for that matter?
Right. No, we do not. We do not have any investments in Adani Port. On the other side, we have made an investment in Gujarat Pipavav Port, which is owned by the multinational AP Mers. Of course, the results are not yet out for this quarter as far as Gujarat Pipavav Port is concerned. But we definitely like that business and also the management. I think they are very focused in terms of their capital allocation, which is what really gives us a lot of confidence in that company.
Yeah. Jubilant Food, any thoughts? I mean, you own it or any thoughts? It's now under 1100.
Well, yeah, we do not own that stock, although we've always liked that business, but because the valuations were always so high that it deterred us to actually make any investments, because the risk reward was never in favor. I mean, at least that's how we perceived it, that the risk reward was not in favor of an investor, and that's why we've never participated in that investment actually.
You know, HCL Tech has lost some 15% after the results. Any interest there?
Well, in the IT, actually, we have very limited exposure, and what we own is Infosys, and where we have been quite happy with their delivery for the last 2-3 quarters now. Mr. Sikka has been actually walking his talk, and he is actually quite focused on delivering his vision of 2020 of reaching the $20 billion with fairly good margins. So, in that sense, we are quite happy with owning Infosys.
Is the market itself going anywhere, Sachin, in your opinion?
My personal sense is that we will remain in this narrow trading zone of maybe 7,500 to 7,800, worst case maybe 7,200, upside limited to probably 8,000 odd. Largely we should remain in this narrow trading zone of about 75, 7,800 till I think there is going to be a lot of clarity on how the monsoons will actually pan out, and not only that, I think more importantly how the semi-urban rural demand actually picks up in the second half of this financial year, because if you hear most of the management commentaries from the consumer companies, it's very clear that the semi-urban rural demand is very, very subdued, and yet there are no signs of any pickup, and obviously as expected doesn't look like it's going to happen till the October, November of this year. So I think till then, or maybe till at least August, September, markets probably will remain in this narrow trading zone of 7,500, 7,800.
All right, fair enough. We'll leave it there. Sachin, thank you for your time. Good having you here.